Vasudevaya. Narayanam namaskritya naram chaiva narottamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jayamudiraye nashtaprayeshu abhadreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavati uttama shloke bhaktir bhavati naishtiki bhir dhupa deepakai dwari dwari grihanam cha dadhi akshata phalekshubhihi alankritam purna kumbhair balibhir dhupa deepakai dwari dwari grihanam cha dadhi akshata phalekshubhihi alankritam purna kumbhair balibhir dhupa deepakai dwari dwari grihanam cha dadhi akshata phalekshubhihi alankritam purna kumbhair balibhir dhupa deepakai dwari dwari grihanam cha dadhi akshata phalekshubhihi alankritam purna kumbhair balibhir dhupa deepakai dwari dwari grihanam cha dadhi akshata phalekshubhihi alankritam purna kumbhair balibhir dhupa deepakai dwari dwari grihanam cha dadhi akshata phalekshubhihi alankritam purna kumbhair balibhir dhupa deepakai dwari dwari, the door of each and every house, grahana, of all the residential buildings, cha, and dadhi, curd, akshata, unbroken, phala, fruit, ikshubhihi, sugarcane, alankritam, decorated, purna kumbhaihi, full water pots, balibhihi, along with articles for worship, dhupa, incense, deepakaihi, with lamps and candles. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Translation. In each and every door of the residential houses, auspicious things like curd, unbroken fruits, sugarcane, and full water pots with articles for worship, incense and candles were all displayed. Translation with repetition. In each and every door of the residential houses, auspicious things like curd, unbroken fruits, sugarcane, and full water pots with articles for worship, incense and candles were all displayed. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. The process of reception according to Vedic rites is not at all dry. The reception was made not simply by decorating the roads and streets as above mentioned, but by worshipping the Lord with requisite ingredients like incense, lamps, flowers, sweets, fruits, and other palatable eatables according to one's capacity. All were offered to the Lord, and the remnants of the foodstuff were distributed amongst the gathering citizens. So it was not like a dry reception of these modern days. Each and every house was ready to receive the Lord in a similar way, and thus each and every house on the roads and streets distributed such remnants of food to the citizens, and therefore the festival was successful. Without distribution of food, no function is complete, and that is the way of Vedic culture. Thus ends the wonderful transcendental Bhaktivedanta purport. Om Ajnanatimidandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Sadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So another beautiful verse from Srimad Bhagavatam, which talks about the entrance of Lord Krishna in the city of Dwaraka. If you read Krishna book, it has been given or mentioned there, Lord Krishna has departed Dwaraka many times. And every time Krishna enters into Dwaraka, it is as if for the residents of Dwaraka, their life air is coming back. And how do you know that? Is it just some statement? You see that by the details. And those details are very nicely given in Bhagavatam, like in this verse. Dwari dwari grihanam cha dadhi akshata falekshubhi alankritam purna kumbhair balibhir dhupa deepakai. Dwari dwari. Every door, every single entrance of every houses, Grihanam is a plural. That's why it is Dwari, Dwari, Grihanam cha. Every single house, the entrance of the door was decorated with this auspicious things. Which are those auspicious things? Dadhi. Dadhi is curd. Akshata, the rice that we hold in our hands before doing the Abhishekam, the Swasti Vachana. It's Akshata, unbroken. Akshata Phala, not the fruits which are eaten, or it is Akshata Phala. And Ikshubhihi. Ikshubhi is sugarcane. So Dadhi Akshata Phalekshubhihi Alankritam. This is decorated. Purna Kumbhair. The water pots which are filled, Purna Kumbhair. Balibhir Dhupa Deepakahi. Balibhir is all auspicious things. Dhupa Deepakahi, incense and lamps. With that it is decorated. Last class we saw how they were decorating the path. And this one, they are talking about the residential houses, how this is being decorated. And Prabhupada's first line of the purport is, the process of reception according to Vedic rites is not at all dry. The process of reception according to Vedic rites is not at all dry. Now think in your life, have you ever gotten a dry reception by someone? What does the word dry reception mean? Huh? Really? Rotia. They feed 3 times. What is a dry reception? You're not welcomed there. Yeah, it's very cold. Few days back, Rasagna Prabhu, myself and Palini Mataji, we had gone to one place for some business dealings. We had some discussion over there, we came back. And maybe yesterday, I was talking to Mataji, and Mataji told that person was very cold. He's an American. He was explaining something to us. And she told he was very cold. And I said, I agree with you. Yeah, he was very cold. Was he cold like his temperature we measured in the thermometer, or what did we do? But you feel that. The feelings, right? You go there, as a matter of fact, he has to spend some time. He was spending some time, he was doing something. So here it is mentioned, the process of reception according to Vedic rites is not at all dry. When I was preparing for my GRE long back, 28 years back, 27, 28 years back. There used to be this Barron's high frequency word list. This is shaking head. So there is a word that comes in that which used to quite repeatedly come in the mock GRE, even in the actual GRE also. The word is called edifying. Anybody knows what is the meaning of that? You all have your phone. You can see what is the meaning of the word edifying. Glorifying one? No. Huh? Able to eat? No, it has got nothing to do with eating. That's why it is a Barron's high frequency word list. Because we think we know the meaning. Hindi mein aa gaya, forget it. It is actually giving instructions, or I actually got the Google this thing. Providing moral or intellectual instruction. Okay. The word, if you see the root of that, edifying, is how it is built up. What you are made up of. What is this house made up of? The house is made up of wood, some whatever, singles, shelvings and things like that. Whatever, bricks, mortars, cements. One question one needs to ask is, what are we made up of? What are we made up of? What is it that describes or characterizes me? What defines me? Actually, we live in a very, very unprecedented times, very precarious times, where those values of human life are not given due importance. Honesty, integrity, right? Accountability, responsibility. These things are mere words. We know their meanings. Everything is done in a matter of fact, like a formal way. ठीक है, करना है. So I have to just do something. No. Actually, what defines, what is actually edifying, are if we have those true virtues and values inside us. Otherwise, everything becomes very mechanical. Why are you coming to temple? Just because I have been asked to come. Why are you doing something? I don't know. They asked me to do. I'm doing it. If they don't ask, if nobody is seeing me, If nobody is noticing what I am doing, nobody is around, what I am doing? Am I listening to my mind's dictations and saying that, yes, so many people are not going. This is a winter day. This is some, this. For whom I am doing this? Those values that we inculcate inside us, they prevent us from slipping away, from slipping down. Not because in the past I have done something, doesn't matter. In the past I used to come, I used to do something. But now I am exempted. Now I need not do, I need not come. For whom? For what we are doing? For whom we are trying to prove? What are we trying to prove to whom? It's very, very important. Prabhupada says one story of a sculptor who was carving two statues. They were identical. One statue was almost built, and the other one he was trying to do with his hammer and chisel. He was doing it very minutely, very, very carefully, very sensitively he was doing. Maybe something towards the ear he was doing it. And there was a passerby he was going through, and he saw that and he said, what are you trying to do? I mean, there's already one is built and you're doing one more thing. He said, actually the first one has a defect. He said, where is the defect? He said, that the height of that statue was about 22 feet or something, very tall. Something behind the ear, there was some minor crack, or it was chipped. So this person, this onlooker, he asked him, who is going to see that? Who's going to notice that? It's the 22 feet height statue, the behind the ear some crack, who's going to notice that? The answer the sculptor gave is, doesn't matter. I would know it. So it doesn't matter whether I have been seen, I've been questioned. Doesn't matter. What I am, actually I'm trying to become a devotee. If I'm trying to become a devotee, I must have those values. I should build up. Accountability is self-accountability. Responsibility is a self-responsibility. Discipline is self-discipline. Oh, well, he's not doing, or she's not coming. How does it matter? This is something for the Lord. I have to be very careful. I have to be very, very attentive. I have to do it for my sake, A, because it will purify, B, for the pleasure of the Lord. That is what we are meant for. Not to prove anything to anyone, not to show how great I am. In the baseball arena, there is a person by name Frank Robinson. I was giving example of cricket last time, so I thought I'll change. If I'll not stick to cricket. This guy Frank Robinson, you should, if you search, he's a black American, and he was playing for Orioles, and there was a match in this Fenway Park in Boston between the Red Sox and Orioles. So he has the distinction of winning the most valuable player for the American leagues, as well as the, sorry, I said basketball? Did I say basketball? It was baseball. So he had the distinction of winning the most valuable player for American League as well as for the MVL or whatever they say, the league, the basketball league, the national this thing also. So in baseball, quite similar to cricket, so he was a good striker of the ball. So he hit the ball and it was supposed to go out of the park. So he hit, and he was very confident that it will go past the boundary or whatever. So if it goes, then it becomes, you get, I don't know what it is, you get a lot of this. Anybody baseball followers here? I don't expect also. So what happened, instead of the ball going out of the pavilion, it hit the green stand. And the ball fell down. And because he was in his mind thinking that it would cross the stadium, he was running slowly. So instead of getting 2 runs, they ended up getting just 1 run. End of the day, when he walked back to his pavilion, not that anybody criticized him or anybody told, why did you do that? Because he was very confident that it would go past the stadium. But it didn't. Nobody was questioning his dedication. Nobody was questioning his discipline. Nobody was doing anything. But this Frank Robinson did something which is exemplary. What he did was he went to his coach and slammed $200 over there, saying it is a fine which I am imposing on myself. See, you don't need to. Accountability. Responsibility. What devotional service means? What does it mean? When things become dry, when things become just a formality, when the heart is not there, when I don't care about what others think of me, when it doesn't matter, when it doesn't matter, when I lose value for all these things, then my mind looks for so many excuses. No, I've got so many important things to do. I've got this. I have done so many things. Frank Robinson's example is a very powerful thing. Doesn't matter what I have done. This time, I did something wrong, and I'm acknowledging that. I'm accepting that. So that's why in one place Prabhupada is saying, accountability is self-accountability and discipline is self-discipline. It doesn't matter what you do. It does matter what you do this time. Being devotee means being responsible. Being devotee means we have to be ideal. Yes, we may not be there, but we should always strive for it. Those virtues and those values. Because when nobody is looking at us, integrity is that virtue which will keep us afloat when we are drowning. If you compromise, if you don't do it properly in life and do it as a mechanical way, but natural, the temptation to drift, to slip away will be very high. But if that integrity is a virtue which will keep you afloat when you are drowning. Very important thing, isn't it? So the process of reception according to Vedic rites is not at all dry. This reception is so important. Actually, Prabhupada explains this so nicely, so many ways. And of course, it talks about the various significant points which Prabhupada mentions. Even though the purport looks like same, they are welcoming Krishna, but there is so much of details. Devotional service, as given by Prabhupada, where he is engaging people like us who are averse to engage in devotional service. The word service means to serve someone. And by nature, we are averse to that. We want to be served, but we don't want to serve. And if we have to serve, we have to learn how to do proper devotional service. Proper devotional service comes by paying attention to details, by being accountable, by being responsible, even if nobody is asking me, even if no one is looking at me. That is what is devotional service. That pleases Krishna. It's not a small thing that we are getting an opportunity to serve. In 1973 and 74, I don't know, in one of the instances when Prabhupada was asked this question, Prabhupada has been asked this question many a times. This was asked by the aggressive book distributors of Europe who were visiting Prabhupada. Prabhupada was in LA in Vatsika Avenue, and Prabhupada was asked this question, Prabhupada, what will please you the most? What they were expecting the answer? Because Prabhupada was saying, he was just double it, and he was just building, enthusiasm and encouraging them, go for book distribution. They were all thinking that Prabhupada will say that, book distribution is going to please me the most. Different times Prabhupada has given different answers, but the answer that Prabhupada gave at that time is, if you love Krishna, if you love Krishna, think in your heart. It's not a question that we have to tell it to others. Yeah, I love you. I love Krishna, Prabhu. I love. Ask yourself, do we love Krishna? Is it easy to love Krishna? What do you think? It is easy. It is not difficult. Like if you see Nectar of Instruction, what Rupa Goswami says, Dadati pratigrinnati, guhyam akhyati pritchati, bhunkte bhojayate, sadbir priti lakshanam. Dadati pratigrinnati. You just give something, gift to someone, receive something in return. Dadati pratigrinnati. Guhyam akhyati, you open your heart, ask some question in confidence to somebody whom you trust. Bhunkte bhojayate, you offer some prasadam, you visit some dham, you bring some prasadam, you offer it. Bhojayate, and you feed also. You receive and you feed. Sadbir bhakti lakshanam. Actually, Prabhupada says bhakti is simple for the simple, but difficult for the difficult, or the complicated for the complicated. The problem is people who are simple, they think they are complicated. The people who are complicated, they don't know how to become simple. So it remains a difficult thing, how to love Krishna. Atithi, or this hospitality, which is mentioned here, the word atithi for a guest, has a portion of it which is called tithi. Tithi means a date. Atithi means they come unannounced. Somebody appears in your house. How do you treat? What is your mood at that time? Somebody who's giving notice and coming, he is not a guest. He is already informed. That is called abhyagata in Sanskrit. But this is atithi. There is no tithi, there is no date, they have come. How should one deal? How should one receive that person? And this is what is being shown here, is being mentioned here, how somebody is being received. There's a very nice story which happened in Prabhupada's time to explain this importance of receiving, and can learn a lot from this. Prabhupada was in Vatsika Avenue in Los Angeles temple. And he got a telegram. Somebody told that he's visiting LA temple. So Prabhupada read that person's name, so and so is coming. So he asked his devotees, he asked his disciples that this person should be taken care properly. There was a phone number given of that person, and the disciples of Prabhupada, they called him and found out where he was staying. So he mentioned he was staying in some hotel. So Prabhupada spoke to him saying that, why don't you visit our temple? We have our nice morning Mangalarti program. You come and visit our temple. From the other side, the person told, no, actually I don't get up so early. I'll be getting up a little late, 7:38. So probably I'll not be able to come. Prabhupada said, doesn't matter, my disciple will go. If you are ready, he'll pick you up and come. If you're not, we also go sometimes doing devotee hospitality. If you're not ready, he will chant there. So one disciple was sent to receive that guest. He went there to the hotel and he was chanting there. That fellow didn't come. He came around 8:30 or so. Then Prabhupada received him very nicely. Fed him nice prasadam and all. And that person went back. After about 3-4 months, again that same person was visiting Prabhupada, he wanted to meet Prabhupada in Vrindavan when Prabhupada was in Vrindavan. This time, this guest was coming around 9:30 p.m. in the night. So Prabhupada asked his disciples to make some nice prasadam for this person. Prasadam should be cooked. So somebody asked, what should we make? Puri, halwa, sabji, rice, pakoda. 7-8 items Prabhupada said. And it was very late, and still it was made for that guest. Prabhupada in those days were very particular about his time of prasadam. He was not eating at any abrupt time. But when this person came, Prabhupada waited for him and had prasadam with him. After that person left, there was one disciple who was very, very curious to find out, who's this guy? He doesn't look like a devotee. He doesn't wear even devotee's dress. There is no this thing inside him. He's not even not even properly civilized or whatever. They were thinking in their mind and they asked Prabhupada, who is he? So Prabhupada said, actually before going to the US, this man had given me 2 sets of sannyasi robes. And Prabhupada remembers that and treats him so nicely. So it is the gratitude in the heart that brings love. People don't have gratitude. People don't value what is being given to them. There is no respect then. Yeah, I am also coming, I am also doing service. Somebody else is also doing service. There is no respect. There is no gratitude. Early days of Prabhupada, when he started this worldwide movement, ISKCON, in 26 Second Avenue, we all know those struggles that Prabhupada had to go through. He's one disciple of Srila Prabhupada who has a memory. Dinabandhu Das, he's still there in Vrindavan. So he recalls the early days when Prabhupada used to have his programs in 26 Second Avenue. It used to be on Wednesdays, I think 3 days a week. I don't know, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or I don't know, maybe Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, or something like that. So there will be these hippies who will come and they'll be sitting, and Prabhupada will first feed their mind with Hare Krishna mantra, right? The chanting of Hare Krishna continuously. It will go to just one tune, Prabhupada, with so much of intensity and purity. He will sing, and he'll bring it to a zenith, and then it will be mellowed down. Then he'll speak for some time, and then he'll feed them something which they have never experienced in their life. Exotic, ecstatic food. Day after day, day after day, day after day, Prabhupada was doing this. So this Dinabandhu, he says, I don't remember who was it, which disciple of Prabhupada, but one of them went and asked Prabhupada, who brings these ingredients, these things that you're cooking? Prabhupada said, I bring. And then who cooks? Prabhupada said, I cook. And the $1 million question, who cleans this dish? Prabhupada said, I do. So that fellow was taken aback and he said, can I help you in cleaning? And Prabhupada said, I was looking for this. I was waiting for this for such a long time. See, our philosophy is very simple, right? Chant Hare Krishna mantra, hear some philosophy, take nice, palatable Krishna prasadam. Prasadam has so much of purifying effect. So much. We know this, in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says about this, the impact of prasadam. Prabhupada is saying that the event will be successful. Each and every house was ready to receive the Lord in a similar way, and thus each and every house on the roads and streets distributed such remnants of food to the citizens, and therefore the festival was successful. Actually, to become a grihastha is not easy. It's not at all easy. You may say, Prabhu, we can understand, you can talk about devotion, you can talk about something else, these are all difficult. Becoming a grihastha, what is the problem? Just get married, have children, live in a house, that's it, grihastha life, okay. But it is not. To become a brahmachari is also not easy. Right? Brahma acharati. Charati means to go towards Brahman. It's a process. Grihastha is also a process. Ideally, the kind of, the ideal things which are given for Grihastha, as soon as the food is cooked in the house, you should open your door and go and shout, is there anybody who's hungry? You are invited to come. How many of us will do that? How many of us have ever done that? The standard of becoming a Grihastha is not easy. A Grihastha is supposed to even take care of the lizards, the reptiles, all the living entities who are living in that house. Feed them after everybody is fed, then he has to feed himself. So the impact of prasadam is so nicely given in so many places. In one place in Bhagavad Gita, where Prabhupada quotes this verse from some Vedic literature, it says, Ahara suddho sattva suddhi. When we eat sanctified food, our existence becomes purified. Ahara suddho sattva suddhi. Sattva suddho dhruva smriti. If your existence becomes purified, then the memory is regained. Ahara suddho sattva suddho dhruva smriti. Smriti lambha vipramoksha. Smriti lambhe sarva granthinam vipramoksha. So memory, when it is regained, what happens is the finer tissues in the brain, they become awakened. Then only there is an urge for vipramoksha, for liberation. Otherwise, no. You see, how powerful is this prasadam? Ahara suddho sattva suddhi. Most of the people who don't take to prasadam, how does the transformation happen in a person actually? Even if we look back in our life, I'm sure you can see the immense contribution of prasadam. Philosophy comes much later. That prasadam, when it goes continuously, purifies our existence. Ahara suddho sattva suddhi. Sattva suddho dhruva smriti. Then the memory gets regained. Dhruva smriti lambhe sarva granthinam vipramoksha. Then the tissues, finer tissues in the brain become awakened, and then you think about liberation. Otherwise, no. Otherwise, it's impossible. It's a very nice example. All of us, we know this from Bhagavatam, which happened in the life of Narad Muni, right? Narad Muni, when he was a boy and he ate the remnants of the prasadam which was left behind by those Bhakti Vedantists. Uchchishta lepan anumodita dvijay. Uchchishta lepan. Uchchishta lepan, the remnants. Lepan anumodita dvijay. He took permission from them. Uchchishta lepan anumodita dvijay. Sakratsma bhunje tad apasta kilvishaha. Sakrat, just once he had that. Sakratsma bhunje tad apasta kilvishaha. It actually, all the kilvishahas in his heart was completely gone. Evam pravartasya vishuddha chetasas tad dharma evatma ruchi prajayate. When does a person feel attracted to spiritual life? When does a person feel attracted to transcendental subject matter? Why most people are not? This is one example of that. So nice, this actually translation. Once only, by their permission, I took the remnants of their food, and by so doing, all my sins were at once eradicated. Thus being engaged, I became purified in heart, and at that time, the very nature of the transcendentalist became attractive to me. Some people are attractive to us. Generally, it is materially successful people who have got a lot of money, who are trying to enjoy, who think that the goal of life is enjoy your senses unlimitedly. Those kind of things attract us. We generally, naturally don't get attracted to transcendentalists. But how does that happen? Just the prasadam. Once only by their permission I took the remnants of their food. Why? Because they're completely pure in their heart. Completely pure from material contamination. That kilvishas are not there. Completely pure. And when we take the remnants, I become purified in the heart, and at that time the very nature of the transcendentalist became attractive to me. Talking about this attraction for different things and how material people are so attracted to these material things, and how the purpose of Krishna consciousness, how the whole idea of Krishna consciousness, for which the devotees take so much of pain, so much of sacrifice, so much of austerity, and how even Krishna wants that the conditioned living entity should come back so that they can enjoy. But how we are still stuck. There's a very nice verse which is spoken by Prahlad Maharaj. You know, Prahlad was distressed. True? He was put into so much of difficulties, so much of, torture was made by Hiranyakashipu. He was very, very distressed. Was it true? But he was distressed in one circumstance. Why was he distressed? Chaitanya was right. He was distressed for other people. Naivo dvije paraduratyaya vaitaranyas tvadvirya gayena mahamrita magna chitta. He's telling, I am relishing. Naivo dvije paraduratyaya vaitaranyas tvadvirya gayena mahamrita magna chitta. My consciousness is fully absorbed in glorifying, hearing, singing your glories. I am very happy, but I'm distressed. Soche. Soche is coming from the same root as the first verse of second chapter. Tam tatha kripaya vishtam ashwapurna kulekshanam vishidantam, that vishidantam, or asocyan anvasochastvam, when Krishna begins to speak to Arjuna. Asocyan anvasoch. Soche, I'm distressed. Soche tato bimukha chetasa indriyartha maya sukhaya bharamudvatad bimodan. Maya sukhaya bharamudvatad bimodan. There's people who are busy for this maya sukha. No happiness. No. How much of struggle, how much of pain, how much of austerity you have to take. What for? For a sukha which is also not real. Maya sukha. Maya sukhaya bharamudvatad bimodhan. Soche tato vimukha chetasa. Vimukha chetasa, one has turned his face away. Indriyartha, for indriyartha, just to satisfy his senses. He says, O best of the great personalities, I am not at all afraid of material existence. For whatever I stay, I am fully absorbed in thoughts of your glories and activities. My concern is only for the fools and rascals who are making elaborate plans for material happiness and maintaining their families, societies and countries. I am simply concerned with love for them. One important thing we should ask ourselves, when it is referring to soche tato bimukha chetasa indriyartha, is there some tendency inside me also? Am I still attracted to those sense gratification business? Am I still drawn to that? The question that we should ask, there are two things that can pull a person again into that Maya Sukha. And if we are not careful, and if we don't ask ourselves this question, first question this that we should ask, when you ask people say we don't have time, right? We are all busy. We've got so many things to do in life. We've got so many obligations, so many responsibilities. The question that needs to be asked is this essential? Is this really essential that I am doing? For whom I am doing? For what I am doing? To prove what? Is this essential? How much of what we do, how much of what we are busy with actually matters? How much of what we are busy with actually matters? Ask yourself with everything that you do and ask this question, is this essential? There is a double benefit of doing fewer things better. But we keep ourselves so busy. And ultimately the thing that we should be focusing on, like when Prabhupada was asked this question, Prabhupada says, if you love Krishna, by some arrangement, by some will of providence, some soul has come in the form of my father, mother, children. I've got some responsibilities. No doubt about it. But how much of all those things that we are doing is essential? Everybody has got 24 hours, same time. What is really essential to me? What is it that is the most important thing? And I should prioritize that over everything else. Second question that we should ask is, or this is a mantra that we should remember. So it's a very powerful mantra, and this, and this is one of the things that I keep telling myself always. And this is a Latin phrase. It means amor fati. A-M-O-R-F-A-T-I, amor fati. Amor fati is one of the most powerful phrases that you can ever remember. Like I was telling about memento mori, like that amor fati is very powerful phrase. What it says is, when something goes wrong in our life, we often question that, I have got this distress, something is not right, and I'm having this situation I have to deal with. What can I do, Prabhu? I could not come. I have got some family problems, some financial problems, some relational problems, some this thing, something. I'm busy. Remember this phrase, amor fati. Amor fati means it doesn't happen to you. Anything that happens in our life, say that it doesn't happen to you, it happened for you. It doesn't happen to you, it happened for you. Accept it, embrace it, and make something of it. This is the idea of amor fati. Sometimes things don't go the way we thought of. Sometimes something unexpected happens in a favorable way. If you just think this is what it is, but let me do the best out of it. No situation is bad, actually. For a reason, the Lord has kept me in this way. For a reason, the Lord has put me in this kind of a situation. Fine. Let me make the best out of it. Amor fati. It doesn't happen to you, it happened for you. For a reason. For a reason, there are people who are rude, cruel, ignorant, proud, whatever, insulting, they're there, fine. Let me make the best out of it. Very powerful mantra. So towards the end, Prabhupada concludes that without distribution of food, no function is complete, and that is the way of Vedic culture. Talking about reception, hospitality, when we are talking about distributing food, there is one letter of Prabhupada which cannot be missed in this connection. This is written towards the end of Prabhupada's manifested pastime, 18th January 1977, and this is addressed to all ISKCON temple presidents, all TPs. This was also read in our TP body meeting and all, and it says, it's a very nice letter. It talks about how every temple should function. Prabhupada is saying, please accept my blessings. This is to all temple presidents. Now you must arrange in each temple, there must be sufficient stock of prasadam for distribution. You can keep first-class cooks, 2 or 3, and they should be always engaged. Whenever any guests come, he must get prasad. This arrangement must be made that the cooks prepare 10-20 servings at a time of puris, sabji, and you can add halwa, pakoras, and the visitors must be supplied immediately. Whenever a gentleman comes, he must be served. As the 20 servings are being distributed, immediately the cooks prepare another 20 servings and store it. At the end of the day, if no one comes, our own men will take. So there is no loss. You cannot say it is finished. It is not cooked yet. There is no supply for cooking, etc. It's a very interesting thing. Of course, you can say this is a management principle. Prabhupada is saying that every time it should be ready. I should plan it in such a way that no matter how many people are coming, we should be ready. We often, our cooks ask this question that, Prabhu, for how many people we should cook? But Prabhupada is saying we should always be ready. For 20 people, at least we should have ready. If it gets over, again you have to do it. Next thing Prabhupada is saying is, temple kitchen, the temple is managed by Srimati Radharani, not by us. The temple is managed by Srimati Radharani, Lakshmi ji. So why should there be want? Our philosophy is, if anyone comes, let him take prasad. Chant Hare Krishna and be happy. Everything is being supplied by Krishna. Krishna is not poor. So why should we deny them? This should be done at any cost. There is no difficulty. Then he ends this letter with a very powerful sentence. He's telling that we are confident Krishna will supply. Let the whole world come. We can feed them. Really? Let the whole world come? I mean, look at the conviction of, let the whole world come. We can feed them. So please do this nicely. Begin at once. Let the whole world come. That's why our philosophy, Prabhupada says in one place, it's a kitchen philosophy, right? Prasadam's importance cannot be neglected, cannot be ignored. Let the whole world come, we can feed them. So talking and closing the thoughts with, connecting all the dots. This idea of reception and hospitality also applies to the Lord who descends mercifully every day when we are chanting. Every single day the Lord, every single instance of our chanting descends. Right? Imagine you invite someone and you make him sit in a place which is unclean, dirty, stinking. Who wants to go there? So each one of us, we have to look within and see, like in Krishna book it is mentioned, as Devaki's 6 sons were killed by Kamsa before Krishna enters into Devaki's these 6 sons represent Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mada, Matsarya. These are the dirty things inside. As long as those dirty things are there, Krishna doesn't come. Krishna doesn't reside. So when the heart becomes clean, yes, Krishna is Suhrut. Hrit and heart, the same. Hrit is in the heart. Suhrut, who's there, very close to our heart, he's there in our heart. But we won't be able to perceive him unless we engage properly in sadhana bhakti. You cannot remain in the periphery of the circle. Either you have to have the devotion to understand the position of Krishna, or you just cannot. And for that I have to be very, very sincere, very sincere. It should not be done as a matter of formality. Very strong integrity. I'll close with this story of when Krishna came to Hastinapur, just before the battle of Kurukshetra was about to start, to have the final negotiation with the Kauravas. Before meeting the Kauravas, Krishna asked the Pandavas, what exactly you want? Of course, we know that, they were asking for 5 villages, but nobody had thought of that. I should have a bigger village, I should have this village, I should have a nice fertile land. Any 5 villages, that's all they were asking. And when Krishna went to have this, the final peace proposal with the Kauravas, Duryodhan apparently had planned an elaborate this thing for Krishna, reception. So from his confidential sources and his intelligence that he had, whatever the intelligence that he used to have, he asked what exactly Krishna likes. What is that Krishna is fond of? So he got to know that, Krishna likes to steal butter. He's a foodie. He eats a lot of food. And he flirts with girls. So the entire city of Hastinapur was built with, like pavilions and samyanas, and there was food and dance and this thing. And then Krishna is passing, and whichever way his intelligentsia, they're reporting to him saying that, well, Krishna is not looking at any of those things. He's not falling for those bets, and he's going. Your information was all right? Everything was, what you had told was correct, right? I said, yeah, we did our research, and this is what it is. Then why Krishna is not stopping? So they were puzzled, and then Krishna goes, and then apparently the peace proposal failed, and Krishna showed his universal form. So immediately Duryodhana thought that he should put him behind the bars. Right? So when he was about to do that, Krishna said, to put me behind the bars, first you should be able to hold me. I am there everywhere. How will you put me behind the bars? And then anyway, he left the place. Duryodhana was asking, so whom we are taking advice from? Duryodhana asked Sakuni, and Sakuni was telling, just a cheap magician, let him go, leave him. Right? Where does Krishna go? Krishna goes to Vidura's house. Vidura apparently was not staying in the palace, in a very small, modest living, and he goes there. Vidura was not there. Vidura's wife, Vidurayani, was there. She was puzzled to see Krishna, didn't know what to do. Gave what? The peels of the bananas and the fruit she was discarding. Ask anybody in this world who say that we are in love. We are made for each other. Okay, whatever they say. Okay, eat the banana skins. You are in love, no? Eat this. Nobody in the world will do. Doesn't matter. He say, I'll struggle, I'll stay in the road, footpath, this, that, but eat banana skins. Krishna did this. All that he sees is our love, our sincerity. A person will eat if he is hungry, A. B. If the person who is serving him has got love inside him. Duryodhana had nothing. Krishna was not hungry, Duryodhana didn't have. Krishna had this. The story of Sabari, where he was giving the ones which he has tested, Lord Ram found it to be more tastier than something even Kaushalya has given. And he said, even I have not been served by the in-laws of Sita, my in-laws in Sita's house. He's seeing the love. Maybe it is Jhuta, but still he's the love, that sincerity. So this devotional life, the devotional process is a process of sincerity. It is not to show, it is not to prove, it is not to, I have to do it truly, genuinely from my heart, with sincerity. That will attract Krishna. And remember always, a situation cannot make us happy. Devotional service can. It's not like I'm in a very bad situation, I'm in a good situation. The situations doesn't matter. Savai pumsam paro dharmo yato bhakti radhokshaje ahetukiya pratihata yanatma suprasidati. There should be a hankering for more and more devotional service. Not that somebody else is doing, I should escape and just sleep. More and more. That greed should be there. We'll stop here and see if you have any questions or comments. Yes. What did Prabhupada say? He's stuck there. If you love Krishna. So what is the question? That's a sentence, full sentence. There is no explanation required after that. If you love Krishna, so when there is love in the heart, the way you do things is very different. It's not a small thing. So that's what Prabhupada said. That's what they asked, what will please you the most? He said, if you love Krishna. That is true. Prabhupada is Trikalagya. I mean, he knows exactly what's going on. He knows now also what's going on in our heart. He knows how much sincere we are. And based on our sincerity, there is the reciprocation of service. There is the reciprocation of the realization of the transcendental knowledge. To the extent we want to cheat, to that extent we get cheated. To the extent we are sincere, to the extent we have understood this, to the extent I want to prioritize this, to that extent I get the reciprocation of the Lord and Srila Prabhupada. He knows it very well. Jagranthra Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Srila Prabhupada ki, Nitai Gaur Premanande.